Hey everyone, Sparks back with another echocalypse video, and it's time to take a closer look at Chiraha. She was one of my most anticipated units, and I invested quite a bit of resources into her, as well as her weapon, so let's see if I really think it's worth it. Has my opinion changed at all? Well, spoiler alert, no. If anything, I would say she is even more valuable than I thought she was going to be before she was released. I think if there was a must pull in the whole game, it would be Chiraha, and I think she's a must pull for everyone. So that goes for whales, light spenders, and free to play. I think she's the closest to a must pull that we've had in the game. So let's go ahead and actually go to my squad and take a look at her. You can see I even invested in the skin for her, and I invested a lot into her weapon as well, but I will talk about that a little bit later in the video. Okay, so her moves scale off of attack. So you want to give her attack equipment and upgrade her attack links. Now I'm saying this and showing you the opposite thing here because I currently have the defensive armor set on her, or equipment set rather, combat gear, whatever we're calling it. But really, ideally, I would have the attack ones on here. That's just because of the equipment that I have currently available, but you really want to do the attack set. And if you don't know what the attack set looks like, it looks like this one. It's the one with the wolf. Remember, each piece of gear has a combat set bonus, and so you want to pair all of these. The reason for that is because her moves scale off of attack. If we take a look at oh, that's Rayon. Sorry, let's go to Chiraha. If we take a look, this one, it says she deals 88% magic damage of attack. That's pretty standard. But even more importantly, for her special, she applies a shield of 170% of attack. So the higher that attack is, the better her defensive or support abilities will be, which honestly is much more important than her attack because we don't really need her to do that much damage. Now, the other thing to keep a note about her is her passive, and this is what makes her super good for everybody, even if you are free to play, because honestly, I think the most useful thing about her is her passive, and passives scale off of augmentation tiers. So you can see, let's go to boost and then to augment. You can see I have her at tier 5. I'm really trying to get her up to tier 6 as soon as I can. But augmentation tiers are not based off of your stars at all. You just need these different materials based on whatever augmentation tier you're trying to get up to. It'll change depending on the level. But even if you just have base value of a unit, you can get them all the way up to as high augmentation as you want. But if we take a look at her passive, you can see that it starts out as giving her 3 tails, okay? Then when we get up to tier 4, which is what I have mine at currently, she gets 6 tails. And then if we can get up to tier 6, which is what I'm almost to, she will have the full 9 tails. And the tails are super valuable because that is what will make her automatically heal people and automatically revive people, even more importantly. Having that auto revive is super important. It just makes you that much more durable. You can, survive one-shots because you get to come back. It's just really, really good in PvP and against certain PvE really difficult fights. So just by the fact that she has this super useful move in her passive that doesn't take any duplicates makes her super, super valuable. And you notice mine is still at 0 stars. Now, I'm going to continue to farm to get her up there because I want to get her to 3 stars, but I just don't have the resources quite yet. But I'm going to make sure I do before she actually leaves the game. But you really don't need to. Just base is fine. Push up that augmentation level and give her an attack equipment set if you have it available to give her, unlike me. Now, she is also really good on literally any team. So I have kind of like a rage building burn team. So Rayon is my main carry DPS. She was giving me burn support, and then I'm getting some burn from this Neolith here, and then I'm also getting some burn from this Ilamono here. So I'm kind of going split strategy a little bit there with the rage mechanics coming from Audrey and Levia, and we can chain together some pretty crazy damage this way. But honestly, Chiraha doesn't really fit into any of that specifically. She's just the best support in the game. She will have the most usefulness of any kind of like survivability of any unit. And like I said, it's even better than I would say I expected it to be. As far as placement, you want to have her in front for sure, okay? I would recommend putting her in slot 1 specifically, unless you're playing with Kiki. Kiki really wants to be in slot 1 because she wants to have full health when she attacks. But otherwise, I'd probably put Chiraha in slot 1, but for sure somewhere here in the front row. And that's because we want her to apply that shield as soon as possible, because, you know, the more hits you take before you take the shield, the less value you're getting out of that shield. Another thing I would recommend when building a team with her is to use other healing. And I actually don't have other healers on my squad. You could go, I mean, technically I do have Audrey. She is helping with some healing, but I don't have like a major dedicated healer like Dina or Nephthys or something like that. But what I would recommend is at least having some other healing, like even possibly using the Ankh over here, because that will heal, or the Elemento, you could use the Arctic Hare over here, because that will also give you healing. So at least some form of healing support, even though Chiraha is going to be your main one. If you can have a little bit of extra healing to help her from using her tails, she's going to have tails left over to use to revive a unit if they get one-shot somehow. But because if she runs out of tails from that passive, from auto-healing people, she won't have any left over. Of course, there's also the benefit of pushing up that level because she gets more and more tails to make sure that she still has some left over. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at her weapon. You'll see I have this at 3 stars. This was really important for me to get this to 3 stars. Honestly, if you're a free-to-play player, you can just use, let's go back out here to the actual combat gear really quick, and look at the vibration arms. If you're free to play, you can honestly just use the SR version. I think these SR weapons are really underrated, and oftentimes they are better than just getting a single copy of the SSR version, particularly better than just putting on a random other SSR that doesn't go to that unit. So leverage these. Like I use this on Griff on some of my teams, her corresponding weapon I should say, not that one specifically, and I've gotten great success with that. But anyway, so I think it's totally usable if you don't have the resources or you're free to play. But let's take a look at the SSR and talk about why I wanted to get this to 3 stars so badly. 3 stars is generally going to be the good stopping point for most weapons. And for Chiraha specifically, you get this extra part that says Chiraha increases the shield applied by her by 20%. So, and lasting the entire battle. So this is a really, really good effect, because if those shields are 20% stronger, you're just going to get more value out of her through the whole fight. So that's another little thing that I would recommend that you try and go for. All right, what are some other synergies? She also has synergies with the Crow, similar to how Chiraha has synergies with the Crow. If you don't know, let's go to, let's see, combat gear. The Crow has some revive shenanigans. Let's see, Elemento, and we can look at the Crow. This is the best Elemento in the game, and the one that I'm hoping for to get. But let's see, is it on its passive? Might be on its passive. I forget which it is. Might be on this skill. I think that's actually on this skill. So, okay, when an ally case retreats, deals damage equal to 268% of the elemental's attack and back row enemies. Summon a phantom in the position of the first retreating ally case and can be triggered once per battle. The phantom inherits a retreating case's attributes and 15% of HP. It cannot attack, take any healing, but does reflect 40% of damage taken. When the Phantom takes fatal damage, the overkill damage does not go to that case, and the Phantom can only stay in battle for 2 turns. If the retreating case revives, the Phantom will attach itself to the case and take damage for her. So, this is why, you know, she has the revive ability, so the Crow synergizes with that, and it will also work when Chiraha revives as well, and they will get that Phantom attached to them. So another cool little trick that you can do if you have the Crow and Chiraha, and just another thing that makes her even better. I would say Chiraha is probably the best unit in the game. And that's a little hard to say because we have so many different roles for units, right? I mean, she's not a DPS, but she's definitely for sure the best support in the game. I think overall the best, most important unit, because we do have a lot of DPS options, whereas Chiraha is probably going to be the best healer and support for quite a while, and is the only one that really does what she does at the moment. But I'd like to know what you guys think. Is there any extra strategies with Chiraha that I haven't pointed out, or anything that you have questions about? I'd really love to know how you've been liking to use Chiraha. It's just, I've been enjoying using her so much, and I think she's so good. I wanted to make another video taking a closer look at her and some of the strategies and things that I found around her, and you know, just be real with you guys for a minute and see if she was actually as good as I hyped her up to be in my initial review and polling session. Alright, go ahead and subscribe for more echocalypse videos, as well as Nikkei. I make videos for that game as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next video or stream on YouTube or Twitch. Hope you guys have a good night, and I'll catch you later.